The lure of power is strong enough to make the best consider the worst options. Big promises offering short-term gains with no clear handle on their long-term impact are commonplace in the East and the West. Britain's prime ministerial hopeful Jeremy Hunt just became the latest political figure to promise the moon to claim the 10 Downing Street address. But he's not alone. Here's more.
Ready for a political revolution.
You know it's election time when it starts raining freebies. It's the oldest trick in the book, so old you'd think politicians would be wiser and voters more so. The trend saw momentum in India earlier this year, ahead of the country's general election. The Congress party bet big on a farm loan waiver before the polls. The party even rolled out the ambitious plan in 3 states that it came to power in 2018. But the wager didn't pay off. The party suffered a spectacular loss in the 2019 general election, claiming a paltry 52 seats out of a total 543 up for grabs. The US presidential hopeful Bernie Sanders is the longest-serving independent in US congressional history. He's a self-proclaimed democratic socialist, a progressive who supports paid parental leave and diplomacy over military intervention. But when it comes to raking in the votes, he's walking the beaten path. Sanders has promised to cancel all student debt in 6 months if he becomes president.
It is simply not acceptable that our younger generation, through no fault of their own, will have a lower standard of living than their parents, more debt, lower wages, and less likelihood of owning their own homes. That is why this proposal completely eliminates student debt in this country and ends the absurdity of sentencing an entire generation, the millennial generation, to a lifetime of debt for the crime of doing the right thing, and that is going out and getting a higher education.
It's a classic too good to be true deal, and this is why. As of this year, about 44.7 million American students are burdened by student loan debt. In the class of 2018 alone, 69% of students took out loans. The math adds up to a scary figure. The total amount owed as student loans in the United States is over 1.5 trillion US dollars. That's about 500 billion more than the total US credit card debt. You don't have to be a math whiz to figure how tall an order this promise is, but the trend just claimed its latest victim. One of the 2 candidates who wants to head Britain's Conservatives and therefore possibly the next Prime Minister, Jeremy Hunt. In his bid to outdo his nearest rival, Boris Johnson, Hunt is hitching his hopes on handouts. The Prime Ministerial hopeful has said that he wants to turbocharge the economy by wiping off student debt.
For our success as a country, when you look at what's happened in Silicon Valley and the number of young tech entrepreneurs in the United States, you can see that we need to encourage graduates to set up their own business. So what I'm proposing today is that graduates who successfully start up a business that employs 10 people for 5 years should get their tuition fees cancelled. I think it's an incentive that sends a signal that we want young people to take the risks, to start their own business, and we're prepared to back them.
According to the Institute for Fiscal Studies, Hunt's plan of cutting interest rates on student loans will cost more than £1 billion. That's more than 8,000 crore rupees. In fact, in its assessment, Mr. Hunt's overall promises will cost anywhere between 37 and 65 billion pounds. We doubt you need a conversion to rupees for those figures. Suffice to say, they're astronomical. Bureau Report, Wion, World is One.